It was a cold and still winter morning in Wisconsin when police officer Jeff Gonzalez saw a black Labrador on the street. The dog scurried around the streets of the quarter, but the policeman was sure that the animal was not a stray. The dog led the policeman to the house. Looking at the porch, the officer could not believe his eyes. Watch to find out this incredible story. It was a chilly winter morning in the small town of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and police officer Jeff Gonzalez was on his routine patrol. As he drove down the quiet streets, he spotted a black Labrador roaming around aimlessly. The dog seemed lost and nervous, and it was evident that it wasn't a stray. Jeff was a dog lover, and he couldn't bear to see an animal in distress. He decided to approach the dog slowly, hoping to gain its trust. However, as he got closer, the dog started to jump frantically from side to side, as if trying to communicate something. It was clear to Jeff that something was amiss, and his gut instinct told him to follow the dog. The dog took off running, and Jeff followed it in his patrol car, weaving through the streets of the quiet neighborhood. Finally, the dog stopped in front of a house and started to bark loudly. Jeff could see that the dog was trying to alert someone inside the house. As he approached the front door, he could see a figure slumped over in a chair. It was a woman, and she was unconscious. Jeff quickly radioed for backup and called an ambulance. He could see that the woman was suffering from hypothermia, and he knew that every second counted. He noticed that her lips had turned blue from the cold and feared the worst. As they waited for the ambulance to arrive, Jeff scanned the house for any signs of what might have caused the woman's condition. He found no signs of forced entry or foul play, but he noticed that the dog seemed to be very protective of the woman. It was then that Jeff realized that the dog, named John Boy, must have belonged to the woman. John Boy seemed to understand what was happening and was trying to get help for his owner. Jeff had heard stories of dogs being able to sense danger or illness, but he had never seen it firsthand. John Boy's actions that day would stick with him for a long time. The ambulance arrived within minutes, and the paramedics quickly got to work. They were amazed that Jeff had been able to find the woman in time, and they praised John Boy for his bravery and intuition. Later that day, Jeff visited the hospital to check on the woman's condition. He learned that her name was Crystal, and she was lucky to be alive. The doctors said that if Jeff hadn't found her in time, she might not have survived. As Jeff spoke with Crystal, she explained that she had been feeling unwell for a few days and had been too weak to call for help. She had passed out in her chair and had no idea how long she had been unconscious. Crystal was grateful to Jeff and John Boy for saving her life. She said that John Boy had been her loyal companion for years and had always been by her side when she needed him the most. Crystal's road to recovery was long and difficult, but she was determined to get better. She spent several days in the hospital, where she was treated for hypothermia and dehydration. The doctors were amazed at how quickly she had recovered, and they attributed it to Jeff's quick thinking and John Boy's intuition. When Crystal was finally released from the hospital, she couldn't wait to see John Boy. She had missed him terribly and was eager to be reunited with her loyal companion. As soon as Crystal walked through the front door of her house, John Boy came bounding up to her, wagging his tail and barking with joy. Crystal was overcome with emotion and fell to her knees, hugging her furry friend tightly. The reunion between Crystal and John Boy was heartwarming, and it was clear that the two had a special bond. John Boy never left Crystal's side as she continued her recovery, and he seemed to understand that she needed his support. The story of Jeff, John Boy, and Crystal quickly spread throughout the town, featuring in the local news. People were amazed by John Boy's intuition and bravery, and they praised Jeff for his quick thinking and kindness. Jeff and John Boy were honored at a ceremony at the local police station, and they received certificates of appreciation for their bravery. Crystal was also in attendance, and she was overwhelmed with emotion as she thanked the two heroes for saving her life. The story of Jeff, John Boy, and Crystal spread far beyond the town of Milwaukee. It was featured on national news channels, and people from all over the country reached out to share their stories of how their pets had saved their lives. Thank you for watching the story of Crystal, John Boy, and Jeff Gonzalez. We hope that their story has inspired you to appreciate the animals in your life a little more and to always trust your instincts. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories like this one. Thank you.